In my experience, for most people in the West, Pakistan is like a black hole. They don't know anything about it.
I'm confused by it because for me, I have mostly heard that Pakistan is an extremely poor country, that politically it's chaos, that it's dangerous.
I think my country is also living in that kind of a bubble. People are living their lives. People who don't watch television don't have the chaos, because the chaos is actually in television and the news, not necessarily on the streets. Laborers, education, whatnot, because now everybody has a smartphone and the internet cost is $3 unlimited internet for the month,
Wow.
including telephone calls. So it's not expensive at all. The cultural knowledge is not available to anybody outside Pakistan, and that's what basically is, I don't want to use a bad word, but it's really screwed right now. They discovered the world is round. Same thing, they're not applying for online jobs, they're not really understanding the internet. As I said, it's coming. And for example, if a company makes 1 million users in Oslo, it'll probably cost them $10 million or $100 million. If you make 1 million users in Pakistan, it'll probably cost you $100,000. China spent $65 billion in Pakistan on different things, building roads, infrastructure, powerhouses, but they brought everybody from China. At least 10% engineers from China. And the reason is, even if they wanted to hire some people in Pakistan, they wouldn't be able to hire the kind of people they need to work with over there. I was a very different person, and I think that's what I teach now. I try to teach people in my school, in everywhere. Confidence is the number one key to everything. If you don't have confidence, you can't do anything. You can have a PhD in something, you will not succeed. So hi everyone, I am here with Shannon, who is from Sweden, and she has some very interesting questions about Pakistan. She has not been there. She really wants to go there. And why does she wants to go there? Because most Pakistanis say we want to leave Pakistan. So why does she wants to go? So thank you for asking these wonderful questions. Please ask them again.
Okay, so I'm going to just preface this that I mean no offense to anyone should I say something politically incorrect. But
Please do.
please do.
We won't take any offense, but I think your questions are so important to understand, because most people, in my experience, for most people in the West, Pakistan is like a black hole. They don't know anything about it. So is that your experience?
Yeah, that's absolutely my experience. And the question I have is, okay, the people that I meet in Sweden and in London and in my life, they are really, really intelligent, they're just interesting people. They have rich lives and amazing families, and they talk about Pakistan with this affection and warmth that I'm confused by, because for me, I have mostly heard that Pakistan is an extremely poor country, that politically it's chaos, that it's dangerous, and I can't really reconcile that image that I've gotten from, I don't know where it came from, but that's just kind of what I have in my mind with the people that I meet who are so absolutely lovely. So why do I have that misconception, or maybe it's not a misconception? How come I have that vision of Pakistan, and what am I going to find when I go there? He's invited me to Canada, so I'm probably coming.
So I think first thing is that you're unable to connect the dots. Earlier you said you heard about poverty and challenges, and if all the people you meet are so smart, why aren't the problems being solved?
Right.
Is that what the question is?
Exactly.
So to answer that, all the people you meet from Pakistan, outside Pakistan, have been through a very strong filter. They don't allow people from Pakistan in the West who are less educated or who might be a burden on the economy or anywhere on the planet. I come from a good, wealthy family. I was denied a US visa 16 times. I was denied international visas to Europe around 10 more times. So 26, 27 times visa rejections. Even though I had all the financial resources to travel, education-wise and whatnot. So imagine the people who are actually coming out are people who are really, really something, who
Yeah.
end up coming out.
I mean, to even be able to navigate that and have the tenacity to apply for a visa 27 times is incredible. And it costs $75 to apply for that visa every time.
US visa is $350
Oh.
per attempt, and another lawyer fees of around $150,000. So you can add up just to how much it comes. So coming back to why do you end up meeting amazing people, whereas on the other side, in your back of your mind, it's like it has this poverty and this and that. So
How did you get here when I heard that it was total chaos and everything's falling apart, and not only are you underwater, but you're also, at risk of political conflict.
So all the airlines are working fine. People are living their lives. People who don't watch television don't have the chaos, because the chaos is actually in television, in the news, not necessarily on the streets. On the streets, things happen. Like, for example, half of Oslo is closed since yesterday because there's an event going on in Oslo. Similar things happen everywhere. Pakistan is a very, very big country. It's 250 million people.
Okay, so that's like the size of the population of the entire United States.
US is 330 million people.
Oh, okay.
So you can say Pakistan is the size of how many Norways is that? Like, you can fit in around 20, 40, 50, around 55, 60 Norways.
Yeah.
So if you can imagine that everyone was outside, if it's around, it's actually around 75 or something, 30 Norway. Why am I so bad at maths?
It would be 250 Sweden.
Oh, yes. So let's imagine Sweden. So it's 250 Swedens. So around 1.5 Sweden of Pakistan lives outside Pakistan. So out of the 25, let's take out 2. The 23 Swedens are in Pakistan, and 2 Swedens are very well educated. They make a lot of money. They're very well off, and they live outside Pakistan. But they still connect to Pakistan, and they still think they're Pakistanis. Out of those 23 which is left, 65% cannot read or write anything.
Okay.
So that's around 12, 13 Swedens who cannot read and write anything. Out of those 23 Swedens, around 17 have a smartphone.
Okay.
They just got it. Up till 3 years ago, it was only 1 Sweden which had smartphones. Now it is all of a sudden 18 Swedens which have a smartphone. So it grew like crazy, just like after COVID and during COVID.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
So because of COVID, the school said, yes, you can bring in cell phones. School changed the model. People were forced to use Zoom and all that stuff. So everything started to change with that. So people are getting educated with the smartphone, the tech, but it's really slow. I was hoping that when I heard that the Acumen has a fund coming in, if Jacqueline asked me, I would say, hey, Jacqueline, yes, agriculture is important. However, we just had birth of many, many more Pakistanis inside Pakistan, which is through smartphones. And if we were to launch apps which would change agriculture, we were to launch apps which would to change laborers, education, whatnot, because now everybody has a smartphone, and the internet cost is $3 unlimited internet for the month.
Wow.
Including telephone calls. So it's not expensive at all.
Wow.
To have a data connection in Pakistan. If you're using Facebook and WhatsApp, it's totally free.
Okay.
No charge.
Great.
You buy a phone, you get a SIM card, you're done.
You're set.
You're good. So short answer, the people who you're meeting are the cream.
They're the 1%.
They're the not 1%, they're like the 10%. And the rest of them are there, and they are unwilling to change. They are cultural issues to change. They live in a very culturally primitive mindset. We still are a tribal country with 330 languages. So I think right now, the only thing which is stopping Pakistan from moving forward is the culture, because has the cultural knowledge is not available to anybody outside Pakistan, and that's what basically is. I don't want to use a bad word, but it's really screwed right now. Yeah, it's messed up.
How do you change that? How do you use all this new technology to change the culture in Pakistan to make it so that people don't have to live in poverty, don't have to learn how to read and write?
So, have you heard of the story of the people of the cave from Aristotle? It's a very old story where people used to live in a cave, and for multiple generations, they lived in the darkness of the caves, and they didn't have a clue what's outside.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, one guy goes out, and then sees that this was not really the reality which I'm living in. I think my country is also living in that kind of a bubble. Uh,
But so many people are coming back to Pakistan,
Unfortunately,
or at least
again,
to visit.
unfortunately, there's not enough people who are trying to do what I'm trying to do, which is connecting the people together, right? I'm trying to connect you. I'm inviting you to come, stay, making you videos right away. I'm not stopping you.
You have it on film. He invited me to come stay.
Yeah. Um, and and I think, like, for example, it's unfair for a master's degree in computer science holder to have a job for $100 a month when he can just apply on online websites and just do it for 10x more money, right? Why isn't he doing it? It's the exact same reason why the Europeans and the world thought, why Christopher Columbus thought that the world ends after a certain time of the ocean. The belief thinks is that no, it can't go there. It's there's nothing there. It's like the world ends. But they discovered the world is round. Same thing. They're not applying for online jobs. They're not really understanding the internet. As I said, it's coming, but it's not there yet. So I think you will see a different country altogether in the next 5 years, if all goes well, because they're getting exposed through TikTok and all that stuff, good stuff on the internet, that there is a world out there and I can take advantage of it. So it's almost ending. There's the cycle of poverty, I hope. And I just want to take this opportunity to invite more and more companies to come in and take advantage of the youth, of the internet, of the mobile phones. And for example, if a company makes 1 million users in Oslo, it'll probably cost them $10 million or $100 million. If you make 1 million users in Pakistan, it'll probably cost you $100,000 because the cost of advertising is low, the competition is very low. A McDonald's in Oslo is 14 euros. In Pakistan, it's 1.2 euro.
Okay.
Exact same McDonald's, exact same restaurant, exact same quality, exact same Coke, but it's 1 to 10 different.
So then I have this other question, which is, so Pakistan is in this.
I didn't think you would enjoy this, but
No, I'm loving it. It's not often that you get to have like an honest conversation with somebody who is willing to talk about their
I'm very honored.
way. Yeah. So how are you going to protect Pakistani people in this transition from not being exploited? Like a lot of people use that low cost of labor to essentially exploit entire continents, like India, and the use of their manual labor and their tech expertise.
I think we will not be able to stop them from exploitation. However, I think that the cycle of exploitation will not be very long.
Yeah.
For example, China spent $65 billion in Pakistan on different things, building roads, infrastructure, powerhouses, but they brought everybody from China, at least 10% engineers from China. And the reason is, even if they wanted to hire some people in Pakistan, they wouldn't be able to hire the kind of people they need to work with over there. So it takes years to train a person. Like, I can't make a replica of you like in 6 months, right? Even if I wanted to, it takes
It would take
whatever.
52 years.
52 rounds sun around the earth. But that's the thing that I think the exploitation will happen, but it is due to the bad decisions our predecessors, I mean, I'm not in government, but people took. So even now, I mean, what hurts me is that even an educated person ends up being a taxi driver in Dubai rather than a higher job person because many reasons. The guy goes to his cousin who's in Dubai. He says, you know what, you will never get a job, just like the earth is not flat. Just do the taxi thing. And then he just settles for it. And that's why you will find most taxi drivers around the planet are Pakistanis. They just don't even try. There's one or two who make it, but majority don't even try. And that's something which is coming in from our self-belief. Most of the Asians, Chinese, Pakistanis, Indians, think of themselves as a less superior human being in general.
Now how do you change that mindset? Because
By having this, what we're doing right now, by having conversation. I used to think I'm a very, very not inferior human being. When I started business in the US, I had my friend act as a CEO because I didn't believe in myself enough that a brown person can be the CEO. And the guy would talk to him even. Because it's not that his problem, it actually was my problem, but it took me 20 years to realize that it's not, it's nothing.
did it take you 20 years to realize that because of you becoming self-confident, or did you realize, the world has changed and now I would be more accepted as a brown person as a CEO?
I think it would have been hard. The world has definitely changed, but it was not as hard as I thought because I wasn't confident enough. I was a very different person, and I think that's what I teach now. I try to teach people in my school, in everywhere. Confidence is the number one key to everything. If you don't have confidence, you can't do anything. You can have a PhD in something, you will not succeed. You have to be able to speak about it.
And I think that's really good advice because someone gave me the advice one time. They said, you can say absolute garbage, but if you say it with confidence, people will believe you. And I use that sometimes when I'm like practicing before a speech. I'll just say utter nonsense, blah, 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 blah. And I'll say it with confidence in the mirror and I feel it. And then I'm like,
can you repeat that sentence one more time?
About say anything with confidence? And
no, the blah, blah,
the
blah.
blah, blah, blah. So what I'm telling you is
the blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah. And people will believe the blah, blah.
They will think it's another language.
It's another language. It's my special language. It's the blah, blah.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So what are you looking forward to with your school?
Oh.
And what are you planning on like doing next? Like what's your next?
What I am looking for in my school is to disrupt the system which was designed over 100 years for industrial age. Now we live in a very, very different time where there's internet, there's YouTube, there's ChatGPT, there's computers, there's cell phone. We're giving out laptops for $3 a month.
Okay, that's
I mean,
a good deal.
That's really, really low, right? Anybody should be able to buy one.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to create a model where others can just copy it and then just replicate the whole process. It's not about money. Let me tell you, because
I was going to say,
the moment I say
the computer for $3 a month, it's going to take a long time to pay off that computer.
these are Chromebooks which are secondhand, imported from the West, and we give 1 year warranty on them. If something goes wrong, we give you a new laptop.
Okay, great.
But as soon as I open my mouth and say we're not making a school for education, but making a school for earning, the people are like, what are you talking about?
That sounds crazy. What are you talking about?
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, initially the school was made for creating leaderships. And so how do you create leaders? Say you want to solve the world's water problem. And so at our school, first of all, we rename you from Shannon
Lovegrin.
Lovegrin.
Like I love to grin.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will rename you as Shannon Watersmith.
Okay.
Or Waterwala,
Hmm?
as we call it. And then you will be required to watch one TED Talk every single day on water.
Okay. Love TED Talks, love water.
And then, just to shout out to our Chris Anderson, who is the CEO of TEDx, and who was also born in Pakistan, by the way.
I did not know that.
He was born in Shikarpur, Pakistan. And then they have to make a TED Talk,
Okay. Great.
same TED Talk in English and in Urdu, and then post it on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, everywhere.
That's great.
So now imagine they watch a TED Talk by Jacqueline, and 40 kids just tagged her, and she's like, what just happened? Why are these kids tagging me? So she will look, what is this kid actually saying? Because we all are conscious about what we say. And then she will connect to a few, and then those kids will request her to give an interview. Now she becomes a personal friend of that kid. Now imagine 1,000 people like that in his life regarding only water. This child will have the best network on the planet related to water. He will have the problem, solutions, capital, everything he will have access to because he's personal friends with somebody who he just like. We just spent 90 minutes with 30 minutes. It's very, I think, amazing relationship if you actually listen to somebody for half an hour. So,
And you care about somebody. If you listen to them for half an hour, then you feel something for them.
Yeah. So I think this is the 2 steps of our school.
And it's called, is it called the Earning School?
No, it's named after myself for now. It's Rehan School. We don't know how to. I want to create like a system like Montessori because it was our last name, and then or IB. We want to create a system. For now, I'm focusing on getting things right rather than what do we call it.
Yeah.
So
Just start and let the work teach you. Don't have to get it right from the beginning.
Exactly.
You'll learn.
That's how I learned. Actually, I have a PhD in failing, so I have. I'm still waiting on my degree on that.
I'm waiting for my certificate.
Yeah. So thank you all for listening. Thank you for asking beautiful questions. I have been wanting to get this on video for a while, so thank you for being that person who asked the question.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to be that person to ask the great questions about Pakistan, and I can't wait to visit.
You're welcome. You can stay with our family.